In the welterweight division at UFC Fight Night, you got Trevin Giles coming in at 15-4, taking on Preston Parsons, who comes in at 10-3. Now Giles 1 inch taller at 6 feet. He's got a 3-inch reach advantage, 74 versus 71. Both guys stand right-handed. Now in terms of activity, you got to lean towards Parsons. He lands 5.2 significant strikes per minute, just under 3 for Trevin Giles. In terms of takedown average, you still got to go with Parsons, 3.2 over the course of 3 rounds, which means he's landed more than one takedown or about one takedown in a course of a 3-round fight. Trevin Giles gets one like every other round. But Trevin Giles has more experience. He's got 73% takedown defense. That will help. He's coming off the win over Luis Kashi by decision, but he lost to Michael Morales and Dricus du Plessis, both by KO. Before that, he had 3 straight wins, and one was an impressive one against Roman Dolidze, whom he beat by decision. He also beat Bavon Lewis by KO and beat James Krause by split decision. I still remember that fight. It's hard to believe he's had 5 fights since then, but James Krause taking that fight on late notice, fought well, had a takedown against Giles, but Giles was just a bigger guy in that situation. Now, Preston pressure Parsons. 100% takedown defense. His numbers are a little skewed. He only has 2 UFC fights, losing to D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, but beating Evan Elder by decision. So he had a pretty good fighter, which he lost to, and a much lower level fighter, at least in terms of the UFC. Remember, these guys are the best in the world, but a little bit lower of a fighter in Evan Elder. So therefore, he's somewhere in the middle of those two. It's kind of hard to determine. This is a pretty even fight. I mean, it's 50-50 in the odds, but I still like Trevin Giles because he has more experience. This is only Preston Parsons' 3rd fight in the UFC. He's got decent numbers so far despite the 1-1 record, but Trevin Giles has the experience, and when you got a toss-up like this, I'm going to lean towards a guy with more fights, proven. That's Trevin Giles. Again, he beat Roman Dolidze, beat James Krause, beat a few other good fighters. So I like him to win, in my opinion, by decision to move to 16-4 here in the welterweight division at UFC Fight Night.